The night bus to Kanakona was much better than the previous one. My destination wasn't actually Kanakona, but it was the stop I have to get off to reach Agonda. I arrived much earlier than expected, around 5 a.m. I was drove off on a very dark roadside. It felt a bit sketchy to just stand there, so I decided to head to the beach. I reached the shore and waited for daybreak. As time passed, people slowly began to emerge. I saw people out for runs, meditation, yoga, and walks. It was a lovely sight to see.
안녕. 어머, 너무 귀엽다. 일로. 안녕? 어머, 너무 귀여워.
There was a bus to Agonda around 7 a.m., so I managed to catch it.
가자. 빨리 와. 오, 같이 가는 거야?
The walk to my accommodation was exactly the vibe I wanted. Quiet, relaxed, with a hint of hippie feel. Before checking in, I ate a coffee in front of my guest house. I had this trendy Indian style brunch, a chapati wrap, and it was so good. It was pricier than usual, but considering it's by the beach, it was okay. I told myself to enjoy these luxuries before my yoga training begins. I rested for a bit, and when my eyes started feeling heavy, I figured I might as well as sleep on the beach. I found a spot near the end of the shore where some older hippies were gathered. I felt like I didn't quite belong there, so I settled in the middle of the beach instead. Since the beach is so vast, it was very quiet and peaceful. The sun was so warm that I totally passed out there on the beach. For dinner, I had a fish thali. You can't come to Goa and not eat fish. The next morning, I took it slow. Moving by the night bus is more exhausting than I thought. Breakfast was omelette, bread, and chai, simple but tasty and cheaper than other places. While I was eating, a middle-aged man finishing his meal asked me if I knew a good place for yoga. How would I know? Anyway, we started talking. His name was Rolf from Germany. It turned out he was also a repeat visitor to India. We had a great time chatting about how much India has changed. The conversation got quite deep. We talked about what's important in life and the meaning of happiness. I think people who seek out and love India tend to think similarly. We seem to value things that truly fulfill us internally rather than material possessions. After that meaningful talk with Rolf, I headed to Kalkulam Beach, a place I had visited 10 years ago. I planned to take the bus, but the wait was too long, so I walked for exercise. I wanted to go back to this place because it was such a beautiful secret beach in my memory, and I wondered if it was still the same. When I finally reached the beach, they were charging a 50 rupee entry fee, claiming it was a private property. Right then, I knew it wasn't a secret beach anymore. There weren't too many people, but definitely more than before. Actually, I didn't mind. It's scarier when there's absolutely no one around. The water wasn't blue, but the scenery was beautiful. It has its own unique charm. On the way back, I was determined to take the bus. While asking a man at a sugarcane stall if the bus comes often, we started chatting. He offered me a sugarcane juice, and when I declined saying I didn't have a small change, he insisted on buying it for me anyway. It was so fresh and exactly what I needed at the moment. When the bus didn't show up on time, I started getting anxious. They reassured me that they would let me know when it arrived. I realized how close off I'd become. Even though they were being kind, my mind was racing with thoughts like, am I being kidnapped? But they were just genuinely trying to help. Thanks to them, I caught the bus and made it back safely. Later on, I bought some fruit to bring back to him as a small thank you.
Please. For me, for me, for me.
Yeah.
For me. For your kindness. No. You take free.
One.
Another slow morning. That's why I came here after all.
Aloo prata.
Ralph messaged me asking if I wanted to have a breakfast. Why not? We met at a cafe and had aloo prata with yogurt. It was so delicious.
Joy 먹겠습니다.
잘 먹겠습니다.
I listened to more of Ralph's great stories and headed to the beach in a good mood. After warming up my body, I went to a nearby restaurant and had a chicken thali.
If you want,
Yeah.
we'll come about after 1 hour here to this place.
I'm not sure because I'm leaving tomorrow early, so I need to sleep. You know?
Then
So
some
you
crazy
think we
Russian
will
guy
travel
came up to
before
me and asked me to
I
go
don't think
somewhere
that
he
I
wanted to
do.
show me that
Not
evening.
a night owl, so
You don't like me.
no, it's not like I don't like you or
You
you
don't
like
like me.
you.
You
So
don't like me. How is your morning connected with this trip? It is
I could
just
tell
like,
immediately
want to
I needed to
join or
cut him off.
No, I have plans. Like this. Приятного аппетита. Have guten appetit.
yeah, thank you.
So our journey starts.
After finishing my meal, I watched the sunset. My last night in Agonda. The next morning, I finally did the beach run I had been wanting to do. I didn't want to wear shoes, so I went barefoot. But you have to watch out for the cow poo.
안녕.
Aside from the workout, I was curious about the distance from one end of Agonda to the other. It was about 3 kilometers. After checking out, I had plenty of time before my bus to Mysore, so I settled into a nice cafe for a while. Then came the wait for the Mysore bus. I had nothing to do, so I arrived an hour early. But it didn't show up even by 7 p.m. when it's supposed to come. I waited until 8 p.m., but still nothing. I got worried and asked an Italian woman waiting for the same bus and her homestay host Rahul for help. We called the agency. They said the bus had already passed. In the end, I had to hop on to the next bus and chase my original one to catch it.
Okay.
I'm so glad I made it. If I had been alone, I would have been totally lost.